What's up, everybody? Travis Powell here at the beautiful Fireside Theater here in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, doing the show Back in the Building here with Legends in Concert. Great show, so come out and see us. And oh man, I just realized I cut myself shaving right there. That's not cool. That's not cool. I'll tell you what is cool. The man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Pelton. That's right, Ryan Pelton. And guess what? I got to sit down with him and do an interview. Actually, it's for his podcast, the ETA Files. So you guys sit back, join in. Let's rock and roll.
Hello, folks. Ryan Pelton here with ETA Files. Thank you so much for joining me this week with our guest, the one and only Travis Powell.
That's right, baby. I forgot about that. That's right. I forgot about that. Oh, man, I appreciate you. It's good to talk to you, Ryan. Good to see you. You're looking great, my man. And, it's funny. I was just having a conversation with my wife. I don't remember when it was, a couple of weeks ago. And I seen that you were doing this with a bunch of guys. And I just kind of looked at her and I said, honey, it'd be an honor to get asked to do that. She said, really? She said, yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because she's, we met at Branson when I was doing the show there at the Legends in Branson. We've been married going on 6-7 years, something like that. But I seen you. I don't even know if you remember this. So I used to come watch you. My hometown is Shelby, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And you used to do the Cleveland County Fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd go out and watch you.
Oh, Lord.
I'd go out and watch you. That's where I would go out and watch you. And I was like, I want to do what of course we want to do, we want to be Elvis. But I was like, holy cow, this guy's in a jumpsuit. He freaking looks great. I want to do that. And I seen you twice there. And then I seen you at Legends. You were the first. And after you, I got to meet, I don't know if you remember Eddie Miles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but you were the first guy. So I consider you as, kind of a pioneer.
Oh,
this whole thing. So it's I
wouldn't say that. I'm old enough though to be one, but I wouldn't say.
Well, but to me, and then to do all the stuff you've done, that's kind of it's really cool, So I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, and I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Lord Almighty, Travis, shut up. Enough about me.
I just being honest.
When
I told my wife, I was like, you ain't gonna believe this. She said, what? I said, Ryan asked me to be on his show. She said, you got to be kidding me. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I was thinking, I started writing down a list just from my cell phone, started writing down a list of guys before I started doing this. I came up with like a list of 300 guys. And I was like, I didn't realize I knew that many different Elvis guys. And, and some of them I know better than others, and some are better than others and all that, but eventually we'll get around to all of them. I thought, well, that's right. Shoot, that's 6 years of material and just fun catching up with people anyways, why not do it? So here we are. But anyway, but you were one of the ones I was like, well, Travis, I know Travis would come on. We talk about a little bit of Elvis, a little bit of golf, and a little bit of whatever. So we're kind of cut from the same cloth on a lot of things. No doubt about it. No doubt.
I agree. We've kind of been at both ends of the spectrum in the business, and what we've done and what we hadn't done and what we've been able to do. And I think I can speak for both of us, very blessed in the things we've gotten to do, and what not only has Elvis provided us in the Elvis industry, but the other opportunities that, that we've got to do. So
well, the thing about you is you didn't start out as Elvis.
No. Right? No, it's a funny story. It's a funny story that I don't get to tell this a lot, but I'd love to talk with you about it. So and I should preface this by saying that me and my dad have a great relationship now. Unfortunately, he's not healthy. He has been diagnosed in the later stages of Lewy body dementia. But he left when I was 7. Okay, and the only thing he left in the house was the cassette tape. This tells you how long ago it was. The cassette tape of the Aloha from Hawaii. So that's kind of how my love for he had showed me the Aloha from Hawaii. I'd watched it hundreds of times, but that kind of grew my love for Elvis and my connection. My dad was there for a while before everything got settled out, and who had the kids, yada, yada, yada. It was rough, So that was my tie. That was my tie to Elvis. It was my tie to Elvis and me and my dad. And then, of course, I loved Elvis. My brother and sister hated Elvis because I played it. I was supposed to be the cool older brother at 16 years old that had to take my brother and my sister to school. And I was supposed to be like playing rap music or soul music. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to be the cool guy. Oh, no. I had the big speakers in the back pumping Madison Square Garden. I swear to you. So they'll tell you right quick, yeah, I'm not a big Elvis fan. I'm a Travis fan. So say all to say, I loved Elvis. I did it like in church, stuff like that for different elderly homes, different talent shows.
Right.
But you're right. I didn't get started there. I started in the country music. I started there. I got asked one night at karaoke, hey, have you ever sung in a band? I said, no, I'd love to, but I've never done it. So they said, why don't you come try it for our band? So I got there and I didn't know any song but Elvis. Now this is a Southern rock band. So we come together on Johnny Be Good. They knew a little bit of Johnny Be Good. So we did that. I got in a band and I did that up until, no joke, probably 2011, 2012. And it's weird. I know you've been here. You just get tired. I lived in Nashville for 4 or 5 years and burnt the road up, had a top 100 single. Just burnt the road up. I'll never forget this. I was in Hickory, North Carolina. You've probably heard of it, on the way to Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how it is. Like when you're a touring act, when you get to a venue, you give the DJ your set list just to make sure he don't play anything. I'll never forget this, Ryan. He played a song off the list, and I thought, I'd give him a pass on that one. Well, he played another song on the list. Thought, that ain't right. And as a touring act, your set's built. Like, the encores, you know how it is. It's all laid out for you. You know what's going to happen. So, keys, guitar, chain, all the important stuff. Well, then he played another song off the list. And I hit the roof. I'll never forget. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I was at Wayno's Silver Bullet in Hickory. And I come out of the dressing room. As an act, you don't come out of the dressing room until you're supposed to be on stage. I came out of the dressing room, crossed the stage, crossed the dance floor, and walked up in the DJ booth. And there was the DJ there, and he had a female friend with him. And let's just say he wasn't paying attention to what songs he was playing. That was not the first thing on his mind.
Gotcha.
And I had the list. And I kind of went. And he went, oh, man, I ain't worried about that. I got other things on my mind. And for some reason, Ryan, that was my wit's end. I'm not kidding you. That was my wit's end. So I walked back to the dressing room and I said, no joke. I said, I'll finish out the schedule we got and then I'm done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how much I had.
Yeah.
And you know how the industry is in Nashville.
Yeah.
So I'd had up to all I could take. So I'll never forget it. We was in Monroe, North Carolina, Reds or something I can't remember the exact name of it. We was going to play 5 sets that night. Had a bunch of people there that followed us forever. Had a guy walk up behind me and tap me on the shoulder. I said, hey, buddy. He said, anybody ever told you look like Elvis? I said, well, I've heard, like, I had blonde hair. I had blonde hair. I hadn't grew it out, nothing, blonde hair. I had big lips, of course. And they said, you like Elvis? And I was like, I love Elvis, but I've never, I've heard that maybe once or twice. And they said, well, Elvis songs. Not this time with this traveling band. We played Never Been to Spain, which is old Three Dog Night song, but we did that, Burning Love, stuff like that. So I said, yeah, we'll do Burning Love for you. So I did it. And that's the next break.
Yeah.
I turned around and I said, yeah. He said, man, that was really good. He was like, you know any more? I was like, yeah, I know some more. I said, well, it's the old Three Dog Night song. I said, but we kind of do it the Elvis way with the, the instrumentals and stuff. He said, do that one for me. I said, all right. So We did it. To make a very long story short, we took 4 breaks that night, and I got 4 taps on the shoulder.
Right.
Okay. The final one was the last one. I was putting my guitar in the case, standing there talking to people. He waited. I seen him standing there. He waited. So everybody was gone. He said, I know you don't know me. And he never told me his name, right? That's what's crazy. If you ask me, what was the guy's name? I have no clue. He said, you ever heard of an ETA? I said, no. This is like 2011, 12. I said, no. He said, Elvis impersonator? I said, well, yeah, I've heard. I was like, but, you know, I've seen Eddie Miles and you, I mentioned. I was like, I've seen all these guys, you know, a while ago. He said, you know, they have a big contest. And I said, no. He said, let me show you something. And he pulled up the ETA stuff in Graceland. I had no clue, right? Yeah. No clue. I didn't know this world was out here. I just knew that I loved Elvis and I wanted to be Elvis when I was 4 years old. You know, seeing Aloha for the first time. Right. That's all I knew. I knew that me and my dad had a relation. Like I knew it was special to me. I knew Elvis was like when mom, like when it wasn't good at home, you know, and dad left, like I would go put Elvis on, and that was my sanity. Right.
It's your place.
It's still to this day. That's my place. Yeah. Still to this day. At 42, fixing to be 43 years old next week, I think, or 2 weeks. Still is my place. And I'm on stage, nothing else. It's just me, you know. So he showed me that, and I thought, well, I don't, you know, that's cool. I said, but I wouldn't even know where to, like, I'm too far. My thought was, man, I'm too far out of it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, like they wouldn't accept me. I wouldn't be a, you know. And I said, man, I appreciate that. And he said, well, you know, it pays like $20,000 to win that contest.
And that opened your eyes. I was
like, well, I was like, well, here was my thought. Well, if they're paying that much to win it, then that means they take it pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Because for me, and this is not shade towards anybody else in the industry, but I only know one way to do it.
Right.
And that's as true as I can. Because in my opinion, Elvis deserves that respect.
Sure.
You know, so that's just my thing. So I was like, they must take it pretty seriously. And I was like, yeah, man, that sounds cool. I was like, I'll give it a thought, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he walked away.
And you don't know who he is.
I still don't know who he is. I call him my little angel. No joke. When I tell the story, that's my little angel. I put my stuff up. I picked I'll never forget it. He went off to the bar. I packed my guitar up, rolled up the strap. You know how you roll it up, put it at the end, closed the guitar case, stand it up on, looked around and thought, well, I think that's it. It's funny. I've been doing this 15 years or something like that. I started when I was like 17. It's come to an end. Like I kind of had a moment.
Yeah.
And I felt. He tapped me on the shoulder again, and I turned around, Ryan. He said, if you don't do this, it'll be the biggest mistake you ever made.
All right. Number one, this is an awesome story. Okay. But if that dude is out there, anybody knows, what's the name of the place that you were at?
It was Red's Country Tavern. I was in Monroe, North Carolina.
All right. Somebody from Monroe, somewhere, somehow. Yeah. If that guy's out there, sees this one day or whatever, please get a hold of me or Travis.
I would love to talk to him.
Yeah, we got to get that dude. That's a great story. Talk to him.
That's literally how it happened, Ryan. And I thought, all right. And I get chills just sitting here because I remember it like it was yesterday. Called my mom on the way home. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. She said, hello. She said, what's wrong? I said, nothing's wrong. I said, but I know what I'm going to do for the next little bit. She said, what? I said, I'm going to try to be an Elvis tribute artist. And she said, what? And I said, I'm going to do it. You know, I told you one of these days when I grow up, I'm going to get a real suit and like really do it for real. And she said, yeah, I remember that because my granny made all my suits. And I called. The first thing I did is I don't know if you know this, the Don Gibson Theater. You know, Don wrote Can't Stop Loving You.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Shelby.
Okay.
So his theater is in my hometown. So I called Stan up. I said, I'm going to do an Elvis show. He said, okay, let's do it. We partnered up and I called EAS. And I talked to John. I said, John, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know anybody, but here's what I want to do. And he came in, did the show. I took him to Harrah's the next night as part of the deal. I drove him up there. I drove back home. I'll never forget, I told Kurt Brown when I was there, I said, I'm going to win this thing next year. And I did. It's been that way ever since.
That's awesome, man. And you know what? Sometimes it's kind of funny how life works, and who knows, maybe it was an angel. But that's a great story, man. That's a great story.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I remember the first time me and you played a show. We was out in California. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
First time we actually worked together was out in California. And I remember thinking, this is weird. I used to see this guy. Like, this is the guy. I used to go to my hometown fair, and like, you know what I'm saying? It was all and then you start looking into it, and you see guys like Sean and, you know, Cody and all those guys, and you're like, holy, this is a big deal. Like, there's other Elvis fans just like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was kind of how it got started.
So you had to, you had to pay the dues and the price, and you had to live the road. Not a lot of guys know what that is all about, man. And it's something else to have that experience before ever getting in. The Elvis business is pretty cushy compared to being out there and being your own artist.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
And I mean that with the utmost respect. I'm not saying that what we do is easy. I'm not saying, I would never say that. You know, I think you know how hard we work.
Yeah.
But it's a dream. It's a dream compared to, you know, what I had to go through and what you had to go through. And, you know, a lot of people go through on the road 6 months straight. And, you know, you may go on the road 6 months straight and do nothing but radio tour. And you know, you ain't making no money.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't, you know, like, it wasn't like I was making all this money. You're going out there and busting your rear end just to get somebody to play your song. I'll never forget, probably about a month ago, I found the first ever email I got of who played the song on the radio for the first time. Like, I've never, like, I didn't think I'd ever find that, you know, but living in a bus, in a van, driving, you know, sleeping in cars.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember in a house band. So one of the first house bands I took was at the Ponderosa in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Okay. I still friends with those guys that cut my teeth there. It was amazing. But we played Wednesday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. every week. And I worked a Monday through Friday job. So that was about an hour from my hometown. Right. So I would work. I built furniture then. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, built furniture. Drive to Rock Hill, play from 9 till 2 in the morning. Drive back, build furniture the next day. Drive back to Rock Hill. And I did that for like 3-4 years. But that's how I cut my teeth. You know, that was part of it. And like I said, you wasn't making. It ain't like everybody thinks you just make a ton of money, man. You know how it is. You might make $100 a night, and if you eat, you might make 50. I could plenty of times. I'd get done with the show Friday, go out. I had a little Honda Accord that wouldn't crank sometimes. I'll never forget it. And I'd sleep in the back seat of that thing, get up and do it again.
So yeah, okay. So number one here, what was the song? Top 100. What was the song?
The Man Song.
It's called The Man Song.
It's called The Man Song. It's the stupidest song I ever wrote in my life.
But
I'm not kidding you. I wrote that song in the back of a big blue, my grandpa and grandma's big blue van. We were on the way. You remember the show Nashville Star?
Yeah.
All right. So we'd made it through like 2 or 3 rounds. We were headed to Nashville for the final round and then see if you made it into taping. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I was in the back of that van. And wrote that song.
That's awesome.
Stupidest song, Ryan. It's the dumbest song I ever wrote, but it worked. People, you know, it's a top 100 on the media base file or media base charts, and they can't too many other people say it.
No, that's awesome. You know? Like it doesn't matter, dude. It does not matter. That's awesome. I can't play it. Obviously, we'll get a copyright strike, but give me the lyrics to the chorus, or the hook or something here.
I bet you're on to the next one, and it won't be the last one for sure. The gist of it is, if being weak, I say, if being rich was a weakness, and girl, you be the natural cure. Yeah, but you're his problem now, and he don't know hell's just walk through his door. That's basically it was a I was going through something. And I wrote it, man. And like I said, it was the stupidest song. I wish I had a guitar around me. I'd just play it for you. But it was the dumbest song, but people
That's awesome.
it, man.
That's awesome. You know? That's awesome. You know, it's so funny, Travis. I ask this all the time, talk about it all the time, you guys. You know, someday I want to see an ETA come out of the Elvis world and make it on their own. And there's some talented people in this business that have the talent to potentially do it. Doesn't mean that, and you have to have a lot of luck beyond talent and ability. You know, Dean Z's a perfect example of a guy who's got a lot of talent and everything else, good looks, all that stuff. But, you know, you've got to be, nowadays, you have to be young. You know, you got to be young to make it or to be accepted. You got to have a massive social media following, you know. It is, though, and I love the fact that you've experienced this. It is hard to be yourself in the
way harder to be yourself
and make it. And we're so lucky to have the vehicle of Elvis Presley to, you know, ride on his coattails, use, you know, ride the train, however you want to say it, man. Elvis fans are awesome. And
they're unwavering too.
Yeah.
That's just, you know, but what you say is 100%. I would tell anybody, being yourself is way harder.
Yeah. It's very rewarding. Very rewarding.
It is very rewarding.
But it is also like you suddenly realize just how awesome and big Elvis was, right?
Oh man, it is unbelievable to think. Because here's the thing. You can take, let's say you're an artist doing your own thing.
Right.
Okay, Ryan Pelton's on the road, Travis Powell's on the road, yada yada yada. And you got your own stuff, yada yada yada. But, and this is no disrespect to Elvis. I know you won't take it this way, but I don't want anybody to.
Yeah.
Elvis was, he was the best cover singer.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because the fact of it is he didn't write a lot of his stuff.
Right.
You know, he might have penned a line or two every now and again, but I mean, you look at all the big songs. Suspicious Minds wasn't his song. You can name them.
Yeah.
You Gave Me a Mountains, My Ways. You can name pretty much every big song that you'll see in a contest. Let's just say wasn't his.
Right.
But he made it his.
Sure.
I mean, can you imagine? There's hundreds of thousands of people that get on stage every night and do Sweet Home Alabama in a bar. And I'm just using that song just for purposes and they ain't none of them do it as good or better than Leonard Skinner.
Right.
But Elvis could take a song, no matter what the genre was, really.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you know, no disrespect to the other artists, but most of the time his cut was going to be the cut.
Yeah.
That you listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Frank Sinatra, but when somebody says My Way, who's the first person you think about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? Here's
a fun question. Give me your favorite song that Elvis made his own, and give me the one that he shouldn't have done that one.
Oh man. My favorite that he does, of course, my favorite is My Way.
Okay.
But one that, God, just off the top of my head, I can think of more songs I wish he would have done.
Yeah, for sure. I always said that I loved his version of Gentle on My Mind.
Oh, God, yes.
So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
but the one that just that actually there's two of them. I think "Hey Jude."
Oh, I didn't like that one.
It's a Beatles song.
I agree. I tell you what. Okay, on that. So the first time I ever heard Something, you remember when he did Something for the first time, which was in Vegas, I think. I didn't like that version.
Right.
But the Aloha version,
I liked it. Yeah.
You know, it had more, it was smoother. And I'll tell you a version that I couldn't stand. The original version on stage, I think it's the album, maybe. I'm not that good with all that stuff, but his first version of Proud Mary.
Okay.
Terrible.
I don't know.
Like it.
Okay, I don't know it.
Yeah, it's very slow, didn't really go nowhere. But of course, then they switched it up and they started doing the modulations and the key changes. Okay. Yeah. Now we got a song.
Yeah.
But like the first time I ever heard him do that, no joke. I was in my Eddie Bauer Explorer back in 94, 96, whatever it was. And I heard Proud Mary. I think it's on stage. I don't know the exact 69, 70, early stuff.
Right.
And I put Proud Mary on. I thought, yep. And I skipped it. You know, and there's probably not too many Elvis songs you skip, especially for me, because I was a 70s guy.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, and I think what's cool, which would bring us into something different, like this question I got for you too. So I was more Elvis for me was 70s.
Right.
Like I have watched, and I do the movie stuff like I'm doing back in the building in Wisconsin. So I do the movie set, but I have to be very transparent with you. I might have watched one Elvis movie all the way through.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like I'll watch bits. I've caught bits and pieces of different ones.
Yeah.
But like sit there and me watch all the way through, maybe one or two. I think it was Spin Out and Jailhouse Rock.
Okay.
That I watched all of, but I just never, that wasn't my thing.
Sure.
But I know tons of other ETAs that they love the movie stuff.
Right.
Like that's their thing. So what was because I know you do 50s, you done 60s, you do 70s. So like, what was your thing? Because like I had to, for the first time, and the reason I'm asking you this is for the first time, I had to do the 50s and back in the building. Unfortunately, everybody got sick. And so I did all three eras, which was I'd never got to do it. Awesome for me because I was like, okay, I can't actually do this when I thought I'm too old. You know, that's something we think about.
I am too old.
If you do as an ETA, but see, I do. Okay. So I'm like, well, Travis, I'm 42, or Travis, you're 42. You probably ain't going to look good in a gold lame jacket. But then I did it and I was like, well, maybe I'm better at it. Not that I'm any of these young guys, you know, even you, like I'm not that, but I can get it done if I need to.
Dude, but
it just
the best. We'll have to talk because I know you bought some of my jumpsuits in the past and whatnot. Yeah. I have got the best gold lame jacket ever.
I need one.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I don't wear it, but it was made by a lady who passed away, but she was awesome. And it was like one of the last ones she made, and it is beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
you're like the only person big about my size that could wear it, you know? Yeah.
I talk about this all the time. Now, what are you going to get new suits? Well, I got to talk to Ryan because me and you are the only people that are close. Yeah. Maybe was Oliver, maybe in our.
Oliver's just super skinny though, and taller. So it's kind of
taller than us.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe him or Mario or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so what was your go-to?
Different than you, man. I didn't grow up knowing anything about Elvis. So it was bizarre for me. I got dared to enter a contest. I entered it knowing nothing about Elvis, other than the fact that people said you always look like Elvis. I had 1 week to prepare. I went to Blockbuster Video and rented out a video to watch because I knew nothing about Elvis. Thank the Lord that Elvis 56, that documentary was in, and that's the way it is. And Aloha was not. Because otherwise I wouldn't have known, you know, but yeah, so 50s is where I started, and rightfully so. And there's an infectious energy and rawness to the 50s. Don't have a very great amount of footage or anything from the 50s. I wish I could have I wish I could go back in time and just be at some of these concerts and see what it was really like, not the television stuff, but like the, on the road kind of stuff when they were young.
Of course. The rawness.
Yep. The rawness and just the passion and energy and the fear of this can be taken away from me at any second. I haven't made it yet, And I would have loved. So I'm very passionate about the 50s. I can't do the 50s anymore. Just arthritis. I just turned 52 years old. I can't do it. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't feel like I do it justice. So, but I love singing the songs and it's great. The movies are great. And I say the movies are great because.
Well, I've always said there's nobody looks better in a GI outfit than Ryan Pelton. I mean, let's be honest. That's just.
And that was a fluke.
Mine on and I was like, God.
That was a fluke.
But it's awesome that you say that because, like you just said, if that's the way it is, or Aloha or On Tour would have been in, it would have shaped something different. And like for me, that's all I seen. It was Aloha, and then it was On Tour. Then I moved to That's the Way It Is. Then I got into 68 and the 50s stuff. I think because I got in it, so I started doing Elvis professionally. Let's say after the guy tapping me on the shoulder. That was 2012, 2013. I was 35, let's say 32, 35, something at the time. I feel like I was in my mind, I was too old to try to do the 50s. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I need to concentrate. I was like, no, Travis, if you want to be good at this and if you want to be accepted, you need to, first of all, just find one genre or one era and just concentrate and try to be the best you can at that. Then start going to the places. But
you were the same age.
I was like,
you're the same age as Elvis doing the 70s as he was doing the 70s. So makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So, I just wonder how people, start.
Yeah.
Like how they know which era to.
Well, speaking of starting, how about this? You are a man of many talents. You do a number of things. You're an excellent golfer, race car driver.
Yeah.
You've done that. How do you get involved in these things as well?
Well, it's my funniest. I call that there's a lot of ties with my dad. My dad was in NASCAR for 36 years.
Okay.
Dad was in it back in we call it the heyday or the glory days of NASCAR, the Earnhardts and the Waltrips and everything, when you could just go and sit in the back of the station wagon and watch the races. So I got to do all that. And I've got plenty of pictures of me in Victory Lane with different drivers and stuff. And my first show, I always say I was through to the dogs. I didn't have no choice. I was either going to be, a lot of people say I'm going to be an engineer. I'm a doctor, no joke. I wanted to do two things. I was either going to be Elvis Presley, not literally, but I wanted to entertain, or I was going to race. I was either going to drive or work in racing. Like that was my only two things that I wanted to do. I was good in sports, played quarterback. Yeah, but that was my passions. I just loved it. My dad was in it for 36 years. And I knew after the injury, sports probably wasn't going to be my forte. I could play them, but I was terrible in school. I didn't care. That's just the honesty of it. Wish I'd have done some stuff different there, but just didn't care. And so racing was my racing and entertaining. I got through to the dogs, I always say, because I got video. So one of the things you do if your parents, with dementias, you bring up different things, jog their memories. But what's crazy about my dad, like I said, we're great now, love him to death. And he may not remember what he ate this morning. Right. Hey, buddy. But I bring up a race. I can say, Daddy, who won in 85 when y'all went to Bristol? And he can tell me who won. He can tell me who worked on the team with him.
Wow.
Just little things. So one of the things we do when we're all sitting at the house is we'll bring up the old VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Well, we found a VHS tape of me and my dad singing with his band at Bristol Motor Speedway for the pre-race show in front of about 37,000 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was my, here it is. This is the way it is. It's, sink or swim.
Yeah.
So now even when I do stuff, like I was very blessed to do the national anthem in Daytona back in 2010. There's 200,000 people there, stuff like that. So the big ones don't bother me.
Yeah.
Singing in front of 5 people make me more nervous than singing in front of 100,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird, but that's all I knew. But I always had that drive to want to drive a race car.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to. So I bought one.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I bought one. I ended up having 3 till I figured out that I was going to go broke and my wife was probably going to divorce me if I kept throwing money in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is very, very, very expensive.
Yeah, man.
But I won't ride a roller coaster for nothing. We just got back from Disney. Hate roller coasters. Won't get me in one. You can strap me in a seat at 200 mile an hour, and I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
You know.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So what? I mean, I know that you have. It's really a relatively short career so far. I mean, you've only been doing it for, a little over 10 years, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But you've come a great way. Everybody knows who you are, and I always ask guys that have been involved in it. I know you've worked for Legends in Concert, and I know that you do your own shows, and I know that you are a headliner, but I also know that you've done the ultimate thing. What are you doing this year? Are you considering it? Are you in it? You out? What? How are you gonna...
So this is kind of cool because I've actually not. I did a little piece on my page, but this is kind of cool to get this out there. Is yes, I'm going to compete again this year.
Oh, okay.
I've been very blessed in the ultimate top 5. Stats really don't make a difference to me. I was probably 2 or 3 times or something like that. But I love it. And I know some people hate contests, and don't get me wrong, they all give us butterflies and they're stressful, but by God, I love it. Yeah. And I don't know if it's the competitive thing in me. I think when there's like goals that you try to, I wanted to win. I remember when I first got started, there used to be big producers. There was a certain amount of producers. You remember how, there was Kurt Brown, Jason Sherry, and there was all these different producers. There was more then than there are now. I'll never forget, one of my goals is I wanted to win 1 contest from every producer.
Okay.
That was a goal. So I kept making those goals, and I wanted to win images, or I wanted to win, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to really see. I was working with Jason at the time. Terry was managing me. So a lot of those years I couldn't do images for conflict of interest. Right. So, but I would do the ultimate, and I just love, I'm working with Back in the Building, which is Legends, till February 24th. And I don't have anything else on the schedule right now with Legends. And I thought, why not now?
Yeah.
It's been probably 2 or 3 years since I've been an ultimate. I'm not good with dates, so it's been 2 or 3 years, and I just enjoy going to the festivals and the contest and competing, because it gives you kind of I don't go just to go. I want to win. That's what we go for. I want to win the contest. I want to go to the ultimate. I want to win the ultimate. I want to be considered an ultimate champion. That's a goal I've had since I started this thing, since that guy tapped me on the shoulder, and I feel like, before I made the decision to say, yes, I'm going to compete, I thought about it. And I thought about the guy that tapped me on the shoulder, which is why I wish I knew who he was, and I wish I could find him. Because in my eyes, if I was just like, I just don't want to do the contest, that would be disrespectful to him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I thought, I owe it to the guy that tapped me on the shoulder. My angel, I've called him many times. My little angel, I think it is, because he was a good bit smaller, smaller than I was.
A lot of guys are. A lot of people are.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of looked at it as like a nod to him to give another try as myself, to the guys that have respect for me in the industry, and the guys I respect. I think, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I want you, like, in my eyes, I would love for you to win the ultimate. That's just something for the guys that I feel like have done a lot for the industry, and I'm not saying that the guys that have won it have not done a lot for the industry, but I feel like there's a lot of guys that deserve to have that crown and that championship. Just
it all depends on if it's your day. That's the thing, it really does.
It's all, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. That you can be good in that contest. We'll use the ultimate for example. You can be good and it just not be your day. You can be great and just get the wrong song.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people and they'll say, why hadn't you won it yet?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't been for lack of trying, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. And it's not like a qualifying contest either. I mean, a lot of people have been to a qualifying contest different in terms of song selection. I mean, weeks before you give them a list of songs and they pick those songs, and there's no real gamesmanship allowed in terms of like, well, this guy's going in front of me. So, and I know he's doing this song. So I would like to do this song. You know what I mean? Those kind of things are out the window. And I think you kind of get this kind of herky-jerky kind of thing where nobody's maybe in the position to have their best foot forward, unless it's your year and you just get the right spot, get the right songs. I've not got that yet. And the other thing is too, the judges, do they like the 70s, or are they a 50s person, or movies, or it's great to know someone who knew Elvis in the 70s, but they might not be into him in the 50s, judging wise. So I know stories. I know stories about judges for the ultimate that didn't even realize that Kentucky Rain was a song that Elvis sang. So
yeah, it has to work out, because what you just said is what a lot of people don't realize, is that there is gamesmanship.
Yes.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
That's what makes it kind of fun.
The thing. That's what makes it fun. It's like I've told many people, and I've actually used you for example. And I would say, okay, so how smart do you think it would be if me and Ryan Pelton's in a round? And how smart would it be if I know he's going to do GI for me to try to go out and do GI after him? Like that wouldn't be smart on my end. It wouldn't be smart for me to go after a younger guy doing 50s and me put on a gold LeMay and think I'm going to outperform another young guy that's got tons and tons of energy.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's no disrespect to nobody. It's just the gamesmanship of it. Right. That would be, and then you can look at on the other side of it. Let's say Moses Snow. We both work with Moses a lot. Let's say me and Moses in a contest. It probably wouldn't be good for him to go out and do a jumpsuit against me.
Exactly. Or
it wouldn't make no sense for him.
Yeah. Or, just pick random dude that sing, big voice guy. I'm not going to sing, a big ballad after maybe a Doug Church, just throwing a name out there.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But it would make sense to maybe do Polk Salad after, if you have to follow Doug Church,
There you go.
So there is gamesmanship.
There's gamesmanship.
It's all taken away. And I mean, and you can also end up having to do the same song in the preliminary round. And
it happened to me.
Yeah. So it's horrible.
To me. Yeah. It happened to me. You Lost That Love and Feeling. Happened to me, which is not a bad song, but when you're,
and you do it great.
When you're in a big contest like that,
Yeah.
But yeah, the gamesmanship, what makes it fun. And I'll never forget the ones that, like, if you remember, and like I said, it's been a while. So if you remember, like if you get to the finals, you'd have, let's say there's 5 guys and you had those 5 guys standing there, and it was, you picked a number and let's say it's me and you, then like you pick the songs right there in front of everybody. So then I had to go, oh shoot. All right, Ryan just took this. Where am I at now? And I know who's behind me. Like that was a fun, like I love that part of it.
Absolutely.
Like, I did.
Absolutely.
I love that part of it.
And, and I think, and I'm doing a little bit more of this with Elvis Explosion because I'm allowed. But I think EPE is missing out on so much. And if they want, and I'm talking to you right now, EPE, bring me in. I will film it and produce it and everything.
There you go.
Please excuse my cat. I've been on the road all January, and she just can't.
Hey, I get it. There's nothing wrong. I love kitties.
So, but they're missing out on the drama of filming this. I mean, you could have a documentary every year. They own the rights to the music too, so you can have the music.
Yeah, no, it would be. I've never thought about it like that, but having a camera, like when they announce, let's see, they take it from, let's say 30. I don't know what the number is, 30 to 10, 10 to 5. Is that right?
Yeah. So they go to the top 10, and then they go to the top 5, and each guy gets a song. Yeah.
So if you could have a camera back there in that circle with those guys picking those songs and watch the gamesmanship of it, that would be awesome. Because I remember I was like, in the ones that I felt really good about it. I remember the year Jay won. It come down to me and him and a couple other guys in the top 5, and I'll never forget going. Jay picked Polk Salad, and I thought, well, crap, Jay's been doing this for a while. They know he's going to do Polk Salad. And so I chose Unchained just to change it, because the last thing I wanted to do was go in there and do Suspicious Minds right after he did Polk Salad. So I thought, well, let's do this. And then I remember the year Dwight won, I was in the final 5, and Dwight won, and he took either How Great Thou Art or Unchained Melody. I can't remember which one it was. And then I was like, and then I was last. Somebody took Polk, somebody took Suspicious, and I thought, what the heck am I going to do now? So I went Leather and did If I Can Dream to try to get the contrast. It didn't work out for me at the time, but that was the gamesmanship of
exactly.
Which is
which is why I always enjoyed the ability to. Now I don't do the 50s anymore, but I always enjoyed. Okay, I got the GI, I got the leather. I do have the If I Can Dream suit, and if I had to, I could do a jumpsuit something. But I love having those options. Going into a contest and being like, hey,
Yeah, because you could take the thing about it is with doing all those eras and being comfortable in those eras, like you are. Well, that's not really era, but yes, the movie or the GI or the leather, that stuff in there, having those options, you can take people's best shot and still hang with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could take their best shot, and because don't get me wrong, I love the other guys, but like if me and you was in a contest, I'd be like, Ryan, I love you, but I'm here to beat you.
Yeah.
I just like, and that's the honesty of the whole thing. I don't mind saying that.
That's so much better than I think it might be like a little bit younger generation thing. It's kind of the passive aggressive, like, oh no, we're all here together. I love you, man. I'm going to help you. Oh yeah. You should definitely wear the orange looking scarf with the blue jumpsuit. Yeah. That looks good.
I never was able to do that. No, I was never able to. I just can't. I like the honesty. I wouldn't. Here's the thing I've always lived by. Like if some guy asked me, how's this belt look, or how's this scarf look, or what does this suit? I wouldn't want nobody to do it to me, so I can't do it to somebody. Yeah. I just, like I'd be like, Ryan, I love you. Like, great, let's let her, but I'm here, me and you. Let's go at it. That's just the way it is, because I don't know how to do the other stuff. You'll ask people that know me, I just don't know how to do the other stuff, and I have too much respect for people to lead them the wrong way.
Yeah.
When it comes to the guys helping.
Like I love competition, but I want it to be fair. I want it to be
absolutely. I want your best shot.
And that's kind of why, honestly, I'd love to see some changes made at the EPE level of this, because I think you get a better product. I think you get more competition. I think you get everybody's best shot, as opposed to this, I don't know even what I'm doing, and this weird 10-song thing, that I just don't understand why that makes any sense.
So if you had it to do, if you could just have it the Ryan Pelton way, whatever that could be, like how would you do the ultimate? Like would you just have the 10 guys and do a Zoom call like you do, you do lacrosse?
We could do something like that.
I like that,
because it's out in the open, and everybody sees it. So everybody knows the order in advance. You can do the song picks. We've done the song picks live like that too. We could do them in person.
what I thought was really cool is I watched last night trying to go to sleep. I watched your video of the lacrosse where you drew the trophies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was out. And, it's funny that we kind of have that same idea. So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So this may interest you. Not saying you would compete or anything, but I'm working with the Lexington Elvis Festival this year, right in North Carolina. Came on board with those guys, and they wanted me to do the contest. I said, "Well, I got an idea for a contest. I'd like to run by you." Okay, so in this contest, there will be songs that you cannot do. Like you ain't gonna hear. We'll let the headliners do "Suspicious" and all that stuff. And I've got like a list of. I don't have it sitting here, but 10 or 15 songs that you can't do because I want to see somebody dig.
Yeah,
like I want to see them dig. Yeah, like you can't do. I can name like off the top of my head, you can't do "Polk Salad," "Suspicious Minds," "How Great Thou Art," "American Trilogy," "Unchained Melody," "America the Beautiful," "Jailhouse Rock," "Hound Dog." None of that you because you know as well as I do, and it's the nature of the beast. So I get it. But we go to the contest. You've been in them. I've been in them.
So you hear.
You're going to hear the same songs. The list I just sent in to one of the contests I want to enter. They're the standard.
Yeah,
that's the nature of the beast, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's change it up a little bit. You know,
that's interesting. So
I'm gonna, and I've had a lot of good interest, in it, knowing that you're going to have to do something different.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is a fun question. Sure. If Elvis Presley himself, a 21-year-old Elvis Presley, was to qualify for the ultimate, and go out on stage, and sing "Love Me Tender," the 1950s version, 56 version of "Love Me Tender." Would he make it to the top 10?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why.
You think he would?
I do. Okay. But I know where you're going with that, which is why I created that set of rules I just
Would he win? Would he win the contest?
I think so.
You think so?
Let me tell you why. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because, and I mean this with the most respect to everybody in this industry, judges, everybody, producers, we have forgotten just how good Elvis was.
That's cool. Yeah. All right.
I believe that Elvis Presley himself could walk in at 21, at 41, at 42, walk in there, and even through his troubles sometimes, could still walk the dog on us.
Yeah.
Because that's how good he really was. I just think he had a way of grabbing a hold of you.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what song he was singing. So yes, I believe he would have, because I believe as an industry, we'll just call it an industry, we forgot how good he really was.
Well, that is awesome and inspirational to hear, because I'm not sure that I believe that. But I would hope that I am wrong. And I appreciate you saying that. And that's a good point.
Yeah, we got to get back to Elvis. Because here's my point. And I'll leave this and we can move on to a different subject. But here's my thought. If you take a guy, this was my thoughts when I made the rules so far for this contest, and something I've been thinking about for about 5 years and never had a chance to do it. And I can't remember. I don't think we talked about this. You're usually who I run through if I got an idea, you're the guy I call. And I don't think we've talked about this, but my thought was this. If you got a guy that goes into a competition, does Suspicious Minds, and he's okay. He don't hit all the notes, maybe a little flat, maybe a little sharp sometimes, yada, yada, yada. He's an okay mover. But then you got a guy that walks right behind him wearing the Aloha and sings "Welcome to My World" and is note for note, look for look on point, like you would think Elvis was standing there. Most of the times, that guy that sings Suspicious Minds will win.
Yeah.
Am I not right?
Yeah.
Most of the times. because of the excitement of it. But if we go by the rules of the competition, in all competitions, I'm not naming anybody in general. If you go by the rules of the competition, that's not right.
Elvis is the standard, that's why, and that's part of the reason that I hope that Elvis Presley at 21 could sing Love Me Tender and win. Okay.
Yeah.
But there is sometimes this thing that, I mean, you've got to sing a power song or a mover.
Well, I have seen, this is the things that I can speak on. Yes. I've seen this with my own two eyes. You've probably been around it too. I've been in contests where guys were, in my opinion, I believe they felt like they had to sing this song or they wasn't going to have a chance.
Sure.
And to me, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the best thing that happened, honestly, here's what I was very excited about. I was very excited about last year when Emilio won.
Mm.
And I believe his winning song was Blue Moon.
That's cool.
Yeah. If I'd have told you Ryan Pelton and Emilio was going to win doing Blue Moon, would you have been like,
nope.
Okay.
I doubt that.
You probably thought I was crazy. Yeah, exactly. And that's fair.
Yeah.
But seeing that really inspired, kind of lit a fire again, kind of maybe, if that's fair. Because I believe that a guy singing Blue Moon that does it great should have just as good a chance as that guy doing Suspicious Minds or How Great or anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because Elvis is the standard.
Yep.
He is, and I believe this is firmly, and I don't mind saying this to anybody, we've got to get back to, if me and you're in a contest, we've got to get back to, I'm judging Ryan Pelton to Elvis. I'm judging Travis Powell to Elvis. I'm judging Doug Church to Elvis, just thinking of names here.
Yep.
We can't get to, I'm judging Ryan against Travis, against Doug against Moses or
even, well, he had a much louder applause than this guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
because when one thing that I don't think is right, and this may be an unbiased opinion, this may be an opinion that you may go, Travis, that's just outside of this world. I don't think crowd participation should have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
I think it's great for
my personal opinion.
I think it's great for like a fan favorite award or whatnot.
Oh yeah, it's great for the show.
But whenever it's time for the contest, you have to have you have to have the thing established that is the pinnacle. This is what everyone's trying to do, and that is Elvis. Should be Elvis.
Yep.
So, if you could see Elvis today, what would you tell him?
Thank you.
That's
what I tell him. Thank you.
What's the best part of being in?
I probably wouldn't be, thinking about, like I said, many people have different thoughts about Elvis, and the old saying is, well, if it wasn't for Elvis, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You've heard that.
Yeah.
You've heard that lots of times, right? Sorry about that. You've heard that hundreds of times. So have I.
Yeah.
But knowing what I went through as a child and the roads that I could have taken and not taken, if it wasn't for Elvis, I probably wouldn't be here. In a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember what the music did when those times were really trying.
Oh, yeah.
In those times. You know what I'm saying? So I say, if it probably wasn't for Elvis, but I would just tell him, if I could say, I'd just say thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the best part of being an Elvis tribute artist?
The best part about being an Elvis tribute artist is the actual paying the tribute to me.
Okay.
Yeah, the paying the tribute, because let's be honest, there's different levels of ETAs. That's nothing. I'm not saying nothing we all don't know. There's different levels of stuff. To be able to pay tribute like I have, to work at Legends, to work at shows with you, to work doing all these things, to be able to tour sometimes, to be given those opportunities just to pay the tribute is the most amazing thing to me, because, it all wrapped into one. Some people say the fans, some people say this, some people say this. What's the actual paying tribute? The fans didn't like you, you wouldn't be paying the tribute. So just getting the opportunity to pay the tribute and be respected by your peers and the different industries, EPE.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm respected by the fans to have that, just the respect of it. And the best part about it is just getting to pay the tribute.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's my
heart in the right place kind of situation there. Thank you for that. What is the worst part of being an Elvis tribute artist?
The worst part about being away from the family. Yeah. The sacrifices you have to make to do it. That's what a lot of people don't realize. And it's not just in this industry. See, that goes back to the stuff me and you've done. Oh man, birthdays you miss.
Yeah.
There's a lot that, and I believe you'll agree with this, there's a lot that the family, your wife and kids have to put up with so that the fans get to see you.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm not just saying that, you've been there, done that. It's, the fans, and I mean this with all due respect to the fans, they got it good because our families understand.
Yeah.
And that's all fairness, it's just hard.
Sometimes, yeah. I've been gone all the month of January, and
there you go.
And it was awesome being out on the road and whatnot, but it's not easy. Not just on your wife, but for crying out loud, your kitty cats and everything else, it's just,
and don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody that listen to this and think me and you we love the fans. We love doing what we do. That's not an issue, but there's sacrifices you have to make when you go out and do those things. And you're giving up missing T-ball games and missing golf matches and date nights. And, there's a lot that goes into it.
Right.
But we're lucky to have the people that support us that let us go do, don't let us, but they support us going to do that. Biggest thing for me, honestly, is Rebecca, which is my wife. She actually said, I think you need to compete. Like, I think you need to do that. That's big, as well as I do. That's big.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. How do people get a hold of you, especially this year as you're going back into the ultimate, going to be qualifying and all that? How can you rally people around to come out and see you and follow you on your journey this year?
Yeah. So we just put up a new website, Travis Powell as Elvis.com. I believe it's .com. I think that's what it is. Travis Powell as Elvis.com. Facebook is always, I'm on there. Just keeping up on the Instagram stuff and everything else. But definitely going to do Vegas, the Vegas Elvis Festival, Penticton, and Nashville. That's on the schedule right now. I'm going to try to go to Tupelo. Of course, it's not, you can't enter that yet, but that's what's on the top of the forefront of my mind right now.
Yeah, I do know they've got a new one in Chicago this year.
Did they really?
Jason Parks is part of that, putting that on.
Okay.
And
how was Jason? I hadn't seen Jason in a while. Is he okay?
Oh, he's got a Tesla and red Tesla, and he has red Tesla driving gloves, and he wears gloves to drum. He's like all about gloves now. I don't know what it is about him, but he has like a separate pair of gloves to put on his Jason. Gloves. I think. I don't know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What have you been? Hey, you just got off the tour. How was the tour? Everything good?
Absolutely beautiful, man. Everything was great.
Good.
And I had sometimes I was doing GI, sometimes I was doing leather. I love both for both reasons. Great venues, great people. Had a chance to see people from the Elvis world out on the road, but also my other podcast, the Ryan Files. We had a get together in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. A bunch of us geeks got together and talked about science. It was awesome. But anyways, awesome. Yeah, so it's really good. And plus, being out on the road, of course, Legends in Concert this summer in Branson, they're going to have an 80s show. So even though I've been with the company for a quarter of a century, I get let go for 2 months. but I'm going to go out on the road, and that's a good opportunity to just be able to travel, do some research for my podcast, and visit some places. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2025, and just going to roll with it, have some fun. But I wish you luck this year, man. You're one of those guys. I've told a number of guys this. If you keep at it, you're going to win it. You're just one of those guys that's good enough to do it. It's just going to be the time when the time's right,
Right.
So
of course. And if we think about it from a higher place, it's all in the good Lord's timing. So we don't know when that is. And I am a little bit disappointed. I'm disappointed. There's a question that you didn't ask me that I just knew. I knew you were going to ask me.
What's that?
You didn't, because I watched David Lee's interview. You didn't ask me about the aliens.
Oh. Well, do you believe in aliens?
Oh my God. So here's the thing. I'm not saying all that's not real. I have just not been presented the proof enough for me to believe it.
I got you. Yeah, that's a lot of people. It's a big step. You've got to know and believe, though, that the craft are real, at least, because you see the craft. Who are the pilots? I don't know. But they've got this.
I don't know.
They've got the go fast gimbal and FLIR, that are doing things that we can't do as humans. We don't have craft that can do that. So there's some sort of technology that's out there. Don't get me started, Travis. It's really bad. All right, we're getting to the end of this. This is going to take about another hour and a half, so don't get me started.
I love it.
Anyways. Well, dude, I appreciate you so much. Good luck this year. Go get it, man. Go get it.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in La Crosse.
Excellent. You're going to be at Elvis Explosion this year.
Yep.
Awesome, bro.
We'll be at Explosion this year. So,
all right.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you. Hey, take care of yourself, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. By the way, if you got any suits or I need some stuff, like I'm going to need to buy or borrow.
I got you. I do have a gold lame. We'll talk about that.
I do. We got to talk about that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Travis Powell. Love you, bro.
Take care of yourself, Ryan. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in this week to the ETA Files. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the ETA Files community. And if you're looking for something a little different, be sure to stop by my podcast, The Ryan Files. Keep rocking, my friends, and I'll see you next week with another story from the Elvis Tribute Artist world. In the meantime, check out these video links below.